Stephen Bagumira Bingi, a resident of Chitoba in Hoima district, is just starting a family. He's married to Charity, who now treats him as a very special person. Unlike many other husbands, Bingi can wash clothes and do other household chores to assist his wife without feeling any loss of pride as a man. As young, small-scale farmers, Bingi always accompanied his wife to their garden of maize, where they worked together while caring for their young son. This young family has had life-changing experiences as a result of joining Budaka Reproductive Health Youth Club in Hoima district.
The club helped me to test HIV, to give me advice, to work together with my friends, and to help my wife.
Young Men as Equal Partners is a regional initiative involving Tanzania, Kenya, Zambia, and Uganda, aimed at empowering boys and young men to take responsibility for their lives, sexuality, and prevention of unwanted pregnancies and sexually transmitted infections. In Uganda, YMEP was implemented in the districts of Hoima, Bushenyi, and Arua, with project sites in 3 sub-counties, including town councils in each district. Reproductive Health Uganda worked with local governments to identify young people who were trained as peer educators in selected sub-counties. These mobilized other youths to form clubs that shared information on sexual and reproductive health rights and gender relations. They also distributed condoms to fellow peers in different social and economic groups. The youths were encouraged to go for voluntary counseling and testing for HIV and counseled to change their behavior to avoid contracting sexually transmitted infections.
Zikazihwera mukushambana zikazihwera umudansi nkahi konka hatiya hinafune sensitization tinkuzitekayo again nahimfunire nanka training zezi njerizeho ku training abandi bantu kwegesa abandi bantu bona bayusi kureba ngu bona bafune akagambo akakwatira na reproductive health and rights.
YMEP has also come up with this voluntary counseling and testing to the members of these clubs, groups of YMEP. At least 70% of them know their cell status. And they are even given tips as to how they can control themselves.
Robina Biencha, a widow with 9 children, has 4 of her sons as members of Budaka Reproductive Health Youth Club. She's very happy that her own grown-up sons share housework with her and do not idle in the neighboring trading center.
Ekinkurolera henya hukana boti baino bwire bwokusisa nkaba kuikara nibanda yandara muhanda bataine kiyoko bakuba bwire bona nibatera plani kikeki barakora abali mukaba abakiyambondera ito emirimo yaitu yokulima ntutura hamusiri nibarugai nibaleta amaizi ntucyumba ntukora nemirimo ende kuba neyongera.
Many of the youth groups under YMEP were later upgraded and registered as a CBO, benefiting from other government programs.
So we happened to get the ISFG fund from the NADS as the influence of joining this group of YMEP. So they helped us and we got 600,000 shillings, but in form of goats. So that one we divided it into 10 goats. So those goats are also owned by the members of this club.
At the district, we shall continue to support these groups. The youth groups will be integrated in other government development programs. As I have noted, some groups have already joined NADS, and we also have another project called Community Driven Development.
The youth groups under YMEP are encouraged to participate in sports as a means of channeling their energies to positive recreation and group bonding. During these sporting events, activities like voluntary counseling and testing, condom distribution, and dissemination of SRH messages are conducted, including distribution of IEC materials. Organized youths have also formed dance and drama groups, which have become strong community mobilization tools, providing entertainment which attracts many people to come together. At the end of the show, the team leader encourages the audience on what they have learned from the presentation and encourages the young people to go for voluntary counseling and testing and also form other youth groups. During these YMEP outreach activities, gender-focused discussions are conducted by peer educators who encourage open discussion of common issues like domestic violence, reproductive health, economic welfare, and gender roles. Mobilization and sensitization of communities has been expanded to previously exclusive population groups, like in the churches and mosques. YMEP youth groups now reach these communities with information and VCT outreach services. Under YMEP, the youth have been encouraged to manage their own activities at the model youth centers and supervise activities of the various youth clubs. Youth involvement and participation, YIP, has now become a permanent feature in the RHU structure.
At parish level, we have the parish chairpersons. At the sub-county level, we have the sub-county chairpersons. And then the overall leadership. That is in terms of representation, that's the youth involvement and participation. So these are the ones who are now offering support supervisions to the other peers who are at the lower level.
This program has brought the youth themselves on board, so they take decision on their lives and what is good for them. They are able to understand this is good and this is bad. Involving them directly is actually one way which has made the program succeed.
Successful implementation of YMEP activities was facilitated by the enthusiastic participation of partners who contributed actively in project review meetings and workshops. The reviews made it possible to identify gaps and challenges that were addressed to ensure better implementation of YMEP activities.
Learning from the YMEP approach and the project as a whole, we are now incorporating ideas from this project directly into other projects in Reproductive Health Uganda. We have also taken it on board amongst the coordinators here, and we are using it. The coordinators are our members, or some of our members of staff here, who actually run and develop some of these projects, and they are using it time and again to inform our programming in different areas of intervention.
YMEP has mobilized young men and their partners to access reproductive health services at selected health facilities, which provide male-friendly health services, recreational facilities for young men, specialized counseling, and items like condoms are provided at these facilities. At Chakapea Health Center 2 in Hoima District, the male-friendly clinic is held every Wednesday afternoon.
From the time it was initiated, we had a good number of turn-up. Last year, the turn-up was 280, but then prior to that, we had 100, and then we had 80. And before we started, the number could not range above 30. They come for visiting voluntarily for HIV testing, but in those days they used to shy off.
When you look at couple counseling and testing for HIV, now men are not shy to come with their women to come and test. They are not shy to escort their women in labor ward, even when the woman is delivering. You find men there just at the bedside, watching everything, how it is happening. So we think this is a new innovation, and it should actually continue.
The youth-friendly and male-oriented health services under YMEP were also extended to institutions like the police and prisons forces, where service providers have been trained to offer male-friendly services.
Those who have not been even coming for condoms, who have negative attitudes towards condoms, these days they are coming even for condoms.
Yeah. Although male clinics have significantly increased young men's access to reproductive health information and care, the clinics and trained staff are still too few, and items like testing kits and condoms cannot meet the increased demands.
It is only one person, he can't provide each and everything. So if all the staff at the facilities are trained in providing the services, then the quality of the service being provided will improve. And on top of that, another thing is, we must have enough human resource on the ground. So maybe the district has to recruit more staff. And also because of the high turnover, also we have to look for the way of retaining the few staffs who have been trained. But so far the implementation has been good. In fact, we just have to give them more support.
YMEP also focused on school-going young people in over 60 secondary and primary schools in the project areas of the 3 districts. Selected teachers, students, pupils and parents were trained to provide sexual and reproductive health information, counseling of boys and girls, and skills to start and sustain YMEP clubs in their schools. All schools established talking compounds, portraying various messages on sexual and reproductive health for young boys and girls, issues of gender relations, and HIV/AIDS. Each school has established a YMEP club comprising teachers and pupils or students who carry out various activities to sensitize their peers. Voluntary counseling and testing is also carried out in these schools to foster behavior change and referrals to the nearest health centers for further SRH services like STI testing.
Children have responded positively. They normally come up. Every time they are bigger and bigger in numbers. And as you have seen today, even I am seeing very many are turning up for the voluntary counseling and testing. Our teachers have also really benefited a lot. They are now more conscious, and we are supposed to live as role models.
YMEP club members have incorporated their activities into the normal school routines, like making presentations during assemblies.
STI. Smell discharge. STI. Sometimes fever. STI. 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 Painful urination.
YMEP club members in schools organize discussion groups during which topical issues like adolescent health, relations between boys and girls, and teenage pregnancies and sexually transmitted infections are discussed.
When I came into this club, I was addicted to this girl relationship, but after having lessons about opposite sex, body changes, effects of the STIs and STDs, now I have pulled out of those relationships.
In this year, I'm now in Senior 4. I am a living testimony to the students and the young people who are engaging in substance abuse. I started abusing substance when I was in primary. I started abusing with cigarettes, eventually advising to opium smoking. YMEP students staged a drama on the theme, A Life of a Drug Addict. I thought that they have known about me, that's why they were acting the drama. I felt out of place, although it was a painful experience. From that time, I decided to say no to substance abuse. Right now, I don't even have any fear of missing lessons because of being admitted in the hospital due to substance abuse. And it has made me to perform well in class.
Most of the YMEP-supported schools have also established special YMEP rooms where pupils or students can get counseling from trained female or male teachers confidentially.
These children normally come here in their free time. They read these charts around and some books. We have some young talk in here. They normally come and read. Whereby they can't understand, they normally ask us.
And this has helped us to increase our girl child retention in school. The girls who are dropping out because of early pregnancy, the girls who are dropping out because of the harassment by the boys, the girls who are dropping out because of the early marriage. Now, when they learn to live together with the boys, then they develop the resistance to some of these pressures of the boys. So this has led to the increased retention of girls in our schools.
One of the YMEP initiatives has been the establishment of sanitary facilities to assist girls in school cope with sudden onset menstruation. Young girls are provided with sanitary pads and a shelter to bathe and change when they get their periods.
Girls used to miss 4 days, 5 days, according to the days of the menstruation. But these days they feel free. They remain in the school. Yeah, the whole month. Now the dropout rate has also reduced and the early marriage has reduced.
We sampled Hoima, and much as unwanted pregnancy was naturally coming down because of other interventions, we discovered that in schools where YMEP was not, unwanted pregnancy reduced by 13%. But in the schools where YMEP was implemented,